All right, all right, all right. Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 76. So fresh and so clean. We are back with our Black Business Series, and tonight we have Mr. Michael Johnson of Dale Michael's Custom Clothiers in the house. Hello, Michael.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good
Yes,
evening.
sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. CB, how are you, brother?
I'm good, bro. This week has been one of the longer weeks at work that I've had in like a while for whatever reason. Like we've had a couple, I would say months straight now, things kind of being chill. And for whatever reason, this week stuff just started. I don't know if it's because it's the end of the year or what, but it's been not a whole lot of downtime. Definitely just cranking stuff out. So looking forward to hanging out with the fellas tonight, talking to Mike here and, having another show.
Superfly.
Yes, sir. What's good, fellas? Everything's, pretty good over here. We getting it popping with the Twitch streams. I'm almost to hit all my milestones I have to hit to get affiliate. We're not quite there yet, but we almost there. So, we still progressing.
There we go.
Oh, that's what's up. This is the point where I would ask E how he's doing, but he's not here to answer currently. He's texted me saying he's fixing his audio. He's on that Chicago audio. California audio. But when he gets in, he's gonna say something about the land. That's for E. If you didn't watch the show last week, he kind of dogged my favorite movie, A Christmas Story. So I figured I'd bring that out for E.
How long have you had that lamp?
A few years.
That joke's crazy.
I know. Look, when I was working one of my part-time gigs, a couple of the old ladies that worked there knew I loved A Christmas Story. And so they held one of the lamps to the side. I thought they were all gone. They held one to the side and all pitched in and bought me one for Christmas.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's incredible, right? CB, I don't know where you work at currently. I mean, we work for the same company, but, whatever room you're working out of, I'm working out of a different room at this point. Your work has been kind of crazy. The thing is, everybody's getting in the end of the year stuff right before the holidays, and it always falls on the little guys.
Right.
But anyways, fellas, let's get into the show. That's right. So, Anjanette Young, have y'all heard that story? Y'all familiar with her?
Unfortunately.
Right.
For those who were just joining, Anjanette Young was another victim of a police raid. I don't know if it was a no-knock or whatever it was. It doesn't matter at this point. So Anjanette Young, she's in Chicago. And apparently this happened early this year or late last year, I believe. And the story's just now breaking because the lawsuits are beginning to pile up against the Chicago Police Department. But she was coming home from work, and law-abiding citizen coming home from work, goes home. I guess she was making dinner, whatever she was doing. She was in her own home, in her own comfort zone, and she had, didn't know cops were just come banging her door down anyway. So she was naked in her home, and when there was, I guess, a quick knock and then a bust through the door, and probably like 5 or 6 plus more cops just raided her, walked in her house looking for someone that wasn't there. Now, I think we've heard this story recently, headlines, right? As far as another no-knock warrant that happened, and unfortunately we lost somebody in that one. And in this one, I mean, I guess the fortunate side is she's still here to tell her story and sue the hell out of the Chicago Police Department, but it could have been worse. I mean, when are we going to get to the point where, how do we fix these things? Is there a solution? I mean, we can go around.
Accountability. That's the solution, man. You can't have these. I'm blanking on what the word is called, but there's a layer of protection, afforded to most police departments where, they cannot be charged while in the line of duty. So we need to, hold them accountable.
Yeah, Yeah. No, I was gonna say I agree with you 1,000,000%. I mean, I honestly feel like there's a law on the books that says that policemen cannot, law enforcement officers cannot be sued for whatever reason, and that has to be stripped away. That
There you
has
go.
to be stripped away. It's too much power given. Like you said, no accountability, and they pretty much feel like they can do it because what happens at the end of the day? They still have their pensions. They still have their
Exactly.
job. So if there's some way to not only just sue them, not the police department, but the policeman, the individual, go after their retirement, go after their pensions, go after any kind of monetary whatever you can get from them, and bankrupt.
Yeah,
And,
until it's a severe consequence, it's not going to mean anything for them.
Yeah, and we just keep hearing the same story. You're like, man, didn't we just hear this last week, last month? Like, it's just never ending.
Right.
It's almost like slaps on the wrist kind of thing. Like, you get shamed in the media for a little bit, but then you go back to your job. Now, this woman has to live with, the guilt or whatever, or, time kind of thing when you grade something, grade her house. But she's got to live with the humiliation.
Right.
She's got to live with whatever kind of fear, whatever kind of anxiety comes from something like that, because that's a traumatic experience. I mean, we're sitting right here now on the show. If somebody busts through your door looking for somebody or something that is not there.
And those qualified immunity laws are that's not a federal law. Those are all local laws. So this is where your vote counts in your own community. So you need to put politicians, lawmakers that are in your councils, city councils, county, state governments, and put those people in who are going to change that law. So we should be asking politicians, what is your stance on qualified immunity? And, how do we change it? If they don't want to change it, then, put them in office. So this is where voting actually matters, and being, aware of your local politics is when this comes into play.
Yeah, they say all politics are local. I mean, to your point, the AGs, the attorney generals, like, that's so important now. Like, one of the great things about 2020, while there were not too many great stories, but a lot of us have become very civic minded, right? Like, we understand the laws a lot better than we did before. And one thing I've learned throughout this whole experiment of 2020, man, attorney generals on every single level matter. And attorney generals are literally voted into office. So if you aren't paying attention to who's up for attorney general, when it comes to cases like this is how cases get thrown out. This is how cases get, we saw in Louisville where the attorney general basically decided not to introduce certain penalties for these policemen. So because it wasn't introduced, they couldn't be penalized. So we have to now pay attention. Like, we're looking at Georgia. We're looking at these runoffs and how these two last seats will determine what happens for the next, not 4 years, but possibly 40 to 80 years. So, like, I mean, it's really important that we, especially as you younger guys, that you get it. Like, voting matters. I mean, I'm a 50-year-old, I'm an old guy, right? And so voting matters to me. But I know for some of the younger generation, some of the younger guys, they're like, man, why should I vote? What difference does it make? Well, if you guys don't vote, you're going to get more heavily penalized than I will, most likely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you guys will be the ones. And I hate to see that happen. But if you aren't voting, how can you crime? Can you cuss on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We passed that law.
How can you, right? How can you bitch, whine, and cry if you aren't even voting?
Right.
Your bitch ass for the most part should go to jail.
Right.
Sorry, I'm done.
No. Look, hey. That's what we've been talking about, trying to get the young blood in. That's what we have to refresh a lot of this old politician mindset and just get these guys out. We need some of these new ideas. Some of the people that look like you and I, that can kind of relate to some of the topics that we can all relate to, get them in office, and maybe, again, I guess change will become in effect, hopefully. Like I said, but voting, definitely. We pushed voting heavily last few months.
Good.
During the campaign season, voting is definitely important. Yeah. And not just for the president, Not every 4 years. You got to vote every time there's an election.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not just voting. It's also about holding lawmakers accountable and people who are running for office, holding them accountable when they run for office. So jump in, ask them what are their stances on those things that you feel passionate about, and if they align with you, then that's when you vote for them. But
Absolutely.
you have much more of an impact, locally than you do, in federal, and this is a prime case for that.
Absolutely. Be easy. I'll you a phone call, bro. I'll hit you up. It's not too late. I'll hit you up tomorrow. We'll talk. Moving on. Next picture. We got James Harden returned to the court this week after holding out a few months, a couple games. He didn't show up. And pretty much he declared that he wanted to be traded. If you've been living on the rock, he's declared he wanted to be traded a few months ago. And he was very specific. He originally said Brooklyn. He wanted to go play with Kyrie and KD. But yeah, we all know, we talked about it. That's not going to happen. They're not going to give up James Harden for pennies. Right. We're going to get a superstar in return. So, and it looks like low man on totem pole, Kyrie would have been the one because KD was probably the most protected guy in Brooklyn. He's going to stay. So, anyways, now it's Philly. He wants to go to Philly. Russ had already got out. Russ is here in D.C. But James Harden returned to the court. I'm assuming somebody told him it's not a good look. And, you got to play. So he comes in, and what typically is not a good look. This guy is overweight. I mean, I thought it was bad camera angles at first, but then I watched the game. This guy is completely out of shape. I mean, he can shoot. He had a decent game, but my God, if this is what you want to advertise getting picked up, this is not it. Not at all.
It's funny because he's one of those dudes that body type. He's not like Andre Iguodala was, walking around like kind of jacked when he was younger and everything. Harden's always been, I don't want to say softer, but he's never been like a hard body like ball player, And I don't know if you saw some of the comparisons that they were making, but it kind of goes along with The Last Dance, all the stuff we're hearing about Rodman getting like kind of a longer leash and everything when they had extra days off. They basically, like Houston admitted that Harden has basically the same setup. Like if there's extra days off in between games, they know that he's going to fly somewhere and party and stuff.
He's going to get it in.
But he comes back and he drops 50. And, he's on the list now of, some of the only players in the league to average 30 points, 3 seasons in a row or more. And so, right. So for him, he's probably got that body type where if he's not staying in shape, like on top of all of his workouts, he probably puts on weight real easy. And we know he's been partying because we've been on social media.
Oh yeah,
it's just a little bit of Rona weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the big deal here? It's cuffing season. Everybody's putting on weight. Like, come on, it makes sense.
Thanksgiving post. He had Chef Tobias. I think he used to play for the Skins, and he's got a couple restaurants. We got one in DC and one in Miami. He had him come and cater his Thanksgiving meal, and showed his meal. Ridiculous what this guy ate. I mean, granted, you're gonna eat good because of the money you got. But come on now. Come on, Jay. Like, LeBron probably eats good, but LeBron is not coming to the court looking like that, right?
But we also know that's a difference right there. We're talking about someone who has the championship mentality. Like, and that's, he's been this way. He came into the league at 18 with that type of mindset. We know that Harden's, that's not been his thing. Like, he's very good, and I'm not going to say that he doesn't value winning. I think that he does, and he wants to win a championship. But there are levels. E can talk to this from a championship standpoint. There are levels to wanting to win a championship. You know what I mean? Right. So everyone wants to win one, but there are a couple guys, out in LA that they do maybe a little bit more than other people, and there might be a reason. That might be a big reason why they won the championship in the bubble.
Two things I heard about this. 2 nicknames I heard that were hilarious to me. First of all, Shannon Sharp called him James Hardy's today. And then somebody else called him Thickums.
I ain't gonna hate on you, James. Go ahead, live your best life, bro.
Hey man, this is embarrassing watching James Harden make $200+ million, coming here like a fat. Just, I mean, honestly, man, he's going to get picked up by somebody because he can put up 50 points. And I'm going to tell you what's bad about this is he's going to make the NBA look bad because in his position, he's a shooter. He doesn't guard people. He's one-dimensional, right? He can't play off the ball. If the ball is not in his hands, what good is it? I mean, he's not doing a whole bunch more. And so, but he could jack up that 50 points for you, and he can put butts in seats. But, you know, it's amazing, man. This guy he's clearly out of shape. I mean, he didn't even care that you know or that you see that he's out of shape. He tucked his shirt in. And you tucked your shirt in like this? Like you're just gonna rub it in our faces? I mean, he didn't even care.
Oh, but so funny that y'all bring up the whole you get to the arena and you look in shape. You know, I got my Lakers gear on, and it reminds me of that third go around. Shaq came to training camp like,
right.
You still gonna pay me. I'm still gonna put butts in the seats. Yeah. You know, I got somebody who can go ahead and I just hand him the ball. He gonna go shoot 40 plus shots anyway. You know what I mean? But in the difference in, you know, what you guys are talking about is that's what happens when you're that top tier player. You don't really owe anybody anything because guess what? At the end of the day, you still gonna get your guaranteed money. See, it's the difference between the NBA players and the NFL players that don't contracts and how they act. You know what I mean? How they come to work. So, you know, it is what it is. But we also know that the NBA is a players' league, and they can flex that way in order for them to make their own, you know, control how they want to handle their destiny. And you know, and like you said, he's making 200 plus whatever, making 50 million a year.
He's gonna ball out. I mean, for real. And honestly, even if he came in the season this in shape, well, they weren't gonna go to the championship. You know, no. That's a second round team at best, right? Like, so they're not even constructed to win. So, from his perspective, what's the point? You know what I mean? You're gonna pay me, so, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Like you gotta act like you want to win. Like to me, I wonder now. I'm just asking a question. I wonder what you guys think. But to me, James Harden doesn't look like somebody who wants to win. Like I don't know that he wants to win a championship. I know he wants to make 200-something million.
Yeah, there you go.
I know he want to party. I know he want to live well. But I don't think he's interested in winning the championship. I just think he's interested in making money and also, by the way, putting up stats. Because he's doing that. He's padding the stats. Nobody's going to catch him at the rate that he's going. So, I mean, I don't know that he wants to win, though. Like, it just seems like it's too much effort for him to be a winner. Like, you can't be eating donuts and partying like you're doing if you're going to win. You gotta cut that.
And the partying, I mean, we get that, but outside of COVID, though, like where we are in a pandemic, and we're supposed to be quarantining, and like you just out here living your best life, and that's doing whatever. But yeah, to me, before we move on real quick, it doesn't look like you want to win. I don't think he has that mindset, that mentality. His best shot was when CP3 was there, and he can't stay healthy either, and he couldn't close out the series by himself. So now he's got to join up somewhere else. But let's move on.
But how boring would the league be if you had a bunch of Kobe Bryants? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need these people.
Right. The personalities make it for sure.
Exactly.
There you go. Real quick. So my last topic I wanted to bring up, the Ravens Browns. Did you guys watch that? Was that Monday night?
Best Monday night game in a long time.
You almost forgot how horrible the commentating is on Monday night, just watching the game alone. And the game didn't get really good until the last 5 minutes.
I would say, because I was probably around the 11 or 12 minute mark when he left to go into the locker room. So basically the entire fourth quarter, things started to, that's when the crescendo started to build up, right?
Right. So for those who don't know, Lamar goes out with cramps. At this point, we're gonna say cramps. And it could have been from dehydration. He was coming back from COVID a couple of weeks ago. It could be some lingering effects. We don't know. He was out for a couple of drives, and then they put in
McSorley.
And McSorley blew what was like a 14-point lead or something at that point. So
it was close.
Like 34-20, right? Something like that. And 4th and 5. McSorley goes out on the 3rd down. And then all you see is Lamar run out the tunnel. And he on the 4th and 5, this guy throws a touchdown to Hollywood Brown, puts them up. And then their defense is so bad. Quarterback on another and Baker. Baker comes in, throws another touchdown, drives down the field, and then my man puts the game away. Justin Tucker. So, like I said, great game. I appreciated it. I don't know. You got anything?
Nah, that's just. I mean, you summed it up. I mean, great Monday night game, but at the end of the day, I put it to you like this: if nothing else, right? Because we kind of know who both we've seen them flutter, right? Their defense is going to be into them, right? But Cleveland actually looks like they got something to put together finally for a very long time. If they pieces where they're actually got something going on.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to jump into our 5 minutes of funk, and then when we get done with 5 minutes of funk, if you guess the theme, that's what we want everybody in the chat. Guess the theme of the 5 minutes of funk. After the 5 minutes of funk, we got Michael Johnson of JL Michaels Custom Clothiers coming up our Black Business Series.
Superfly, 5 minutes of funk.
Listen.
Yo. I caught a couple themes in there. I caught a couple themes in there. Hey.
Look, forget the themes. That boy was on it tonight. He seemed like he like I was about to say, just go ahead and keep going, bro.
So yeah, I know it's a little obvious, but we had to do it up right, and the theme just felt good. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to welcome Mr. Johnson. You know what I'm saying? That we got something else, and we gonna set it off right.
Well, the old guy felt good. I heard a lot of that 90s and that early 2000s. The old guy felt pretty good.
And if you just joined us, we're here with our Black Business Series. Mr. Michael Johnson from JL Michaels Custom Clothiers is joining us tonight. Welcome. First of all, we always want to thank you for taking some time out of your night, your evening, and spending it with us, because you could be doing a million other things, but you're right here with us tonight. So
appreciate you guys.
So I'll leave it off with the first question. I know we are in a pandemic, and quarantine and is happening supposedly, and businesses are being affected. And my first question is, how has the pandemic affected business for you?
That's a great question, and to be quite honest with you, my business has picked up. We're actually grown to the point where I'm looking to expand as soon as I can. I've learned quite a few lessons in this whole COVID thing. One of the things about COVID, or just 2020 in general, and I don't know about you guys, but it's forced me to kind of just relook at everything, right? Like I had to peel the blinders off and just start thinking, how am I gonna make it? Especially as a business person, but as a Black business owner as well. And we've been very, very creative. One of the things we've done and we've learned, you can't sit back and rest on your laurels. You got to actually go to your clients. It used to be a time where you could just wait for clients to come to you. But if you wait for clients to come to you, you're going to be in trouble. And early on, we figured that out. Like it was by mistake, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it was a blessing, but by mistake. I just jumped on Instagram and Facebook, and I just started doing direct sales. I wasn't going to wait for somebody to knock on my door or show up. I was like, you know what? If they don't come to me, I'm going to them. I'm coming direct to their households every single day. No days off. You're going to see me every day in your household. And I'm going to give you something different every single day to look at, something to buy. And I caught people early on when they had a lot of money because they weren't going anywhere and they were bored. And you could tell people were bored because they were just spending money. And I was like, wait a minute, let me help them. You know?
Amazon figured that out.
Hey, exactly. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just be a little bit different here. Let me just attack this right at the root and just go directly into person's homes. And we've been doing it for a little over a year, and it's been great. It's been absolutely great.
So are you just tailoring suits, or is it like what kinds of clothes, and like especially what you're bringing out to people? What are you selling?
I mean, that's a great question. We do all that. So let me just back up a little bit, tell you guys what we do. So by trade, we are a haberdasher, just as someone who sells men's clothing, right? Fancy word to say that. So we do custom tailoring. We have some off the rack products here, but for the most part it's custom tailoring. We do custom suits, shirts, ties, shoes, you name it. If it's for a man, we pretty much do it. Even glasses, all accessories. We do hats, the whole 9 yards. And so, and jewelry, you know, all of those different things, from head to toe, whatever. Just think about if you were a businessman or a professional and you needed something to wear to work, we would outfit you from head to toe every single day. That's pretty much what we did. But what I did for COVID was I focused less on getting dressed up and I focused on hats. So you see me wearing a hat tonight, and by accident, pure accident, again, it was a blessing, but by pure accident, I stumbled upon this hidden culture. I don't know how much you guys know about hats, but wearing a hat now is like a cult. It's like being in a cult, seriously. And people are spending upwards of, you know, $2,000-$3,000 on a hat. And you're saying, well, wait, what about COVID? I mean, I don't know what folks are saying, but I know my clients are spending that kind of money. And it's just been crazy. And so once we tapped into that, I honestly forgot that I sold custom clothing and just kind of, you know, worked in that lane of hats. And I've been in that lane for a while. I've been, you know, working in it. I've been revising it. I've been, you know, reinventing myself. Every 3 months, we figure out something different about hats, and then even other products now, and how to bring these products to our clients and make the buying process as easy as possible, to make it as fun as possible, and you know, to give folks something else to do with their time.
What is I guess the initial drive that you had to get into, you know, this area of work? What was it that really had you gravitate towards men's fashion and, you know, that area of work?
Oh, great question. I've always loved clothes since I was a little kid. I don't know about some of you guys, but my dad dressed really well. For a guy who didn't make a lot of money, he dressed really well. And I always wanted to look like my dad. And I said, if I ever had the opportunity, I would do it. And probably about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to break in small. But about 8 years ago, I really had the opportunity to break in big. So this office I'm sitting in today, my dad had always seen the passion and the drive that I have for clothing. And he said to me, look, you should basically stop being like a kind of like a hustler, if you will, selling clothes out of your trunk, out of your house, and get you a full setup. And I said, well, who can afford that? And he said, well, you should just at least go look, figure out what it might cost, do the research. So I messed around. I did the research. I went back to him. I found this place. It was a complete dump. And I brought him here, and he told me, or he asked me rather, he said, well, what do you see? And I just started, I'm telling you, this isn't a dump now. Keep in mind, this place was trashed. I've said, I see over here, I see the ties over here, I see this wardrobe over here, I see this closet, I see, you know, this, that, and the other. And my dad said, how long do you think it would take for you to do all that? And how much do you think it would take? I said, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be at least 40, 50, maybe 60,000. And my dad stroked me a check right there. And that's where it really kind of just took off. And he allowed me really to chase my dream. And then I must say, my wife coupled, or she came alongside me. And let me just tell you this real quick as well. I owned an IT business for 20 years. I did really well. I was an independent consultant contractor. And when I tell you I did well, I traveled the country, I traveled the world. I worked for some of the biggest name companies you could think of on Wall Street, just in Simi Valley. I've been blessed to do all of that. But my wife, at the end of my last contract working for Sirius XM, she saw that I wasn't really happy. I love making the money because IT afforded me a life that was, just incredible. But I wasn't happy with it. And I had owned this business on the side, but I treated it like like just something to do. And she said, look, we can't keep treating this like something to do and you not take advantage of it. She said, well, while you're not on the contract, why don't you just focus on clothes? Don't go back to IT. Just focus on the clothes because that's the thing that makes you happy. And if I had one theme to share with you guys, as younger guys, you all look like you're a lot younger than I am. In life, you're going to have opportunities to make a lot of money and do a lot of things. But do things that you love to do that will make you a lot of money. Don't chase money. Let it chase you. And I've learned in this experiment by letting the IT go. I love what I do every day. I could work 20 hours a day and never be tired doing what I do. I'll still get up in the morning with the same passion I had yesterday, the same passion I had the day before. I'm always going to be passionate about this. And whether I make a dime or a dollar, you won't know because I'm going to share the same enthusiasm I had from the start. And so loving clothes, I've just taken that passion of loving clothes and turned it into my occupation. And I can see now clearly I've wasted probably 20 years, maybe not wasted that because I learned a lot of IT and I put a lot of those same principles into this. But I've learned that me chasing my passion was the best thing I could do. And check this out, at 50 years old. And I can literally see millions coming at 50 years old. And I didn't see that before. And so, again, just loving clothes, just seeing people happy, just seeing a guy who didn't know what to wear or how to wear it, helping him make some small tweaks and adjustments to his wardrobe and seeing how happy he was. And then the kicker was he didn't mind paying me what I asked him to pay me. And so I knew then I was like, I'm on to something. And I would just encourage you guys, find that. Find your passion, work in your passion. Don't just do something because somebody wants to pay you, but do it because you love doing it. And I promise you, you're going to earn top dollar because people are going to see how good you are at it and how passionate you are about what you're doing every day.
Absolutely.
What's the entry? How much does it cost on the low end to start to work with you for an outfit? Like what are you looking at?
Sure. So you've heard this saying there are levels to the game. Well, to play in my game or entry level where I'm at, it's $1,000.
Keep it on the entry. There we go. All right, that's what we want to know, right?
Entry level for us is $1,000. But let me just say this: when you leave here with me, you're going to be happy you spent that $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. It wouldn't be like it was a waste of money. You're gonna be like, when can we meet again?
Yeah. What does that $1,000 get you? Like, is that an outfit? Is that one outfit? Is that two outfits? I know, like between shoes, pants, shirt, like you're going to expect to spend, even at a retail store, $300 or $400 on a total outfit.
Right. So you're all young guys, right? And so I always tell, you are. You're young. So I always tell my clients, when you get to a certain place in life, it's no longer you're just spending money, you're making investments now.
Right.
So I see all of you, you all look like you have made some sort of investment in things that you're pursuing, right? And so you understand that where I used to spend $300 or $400 on this, it now requires me to spend $1,000 because that was okay then. And that was entry level. And to get better, I have to spend more. So I said all of that to say this. A complete outfit, what else might cost you? It could cost you maybe $3,000 and up. You might spend $1,600, $1,700 on a suit. A shirt might be about $300, a tie about another $100, $120. Shoes could cost you, $200, $300, $500, $700. And you kind of go from there. Now, here's the great part about all this. I know when I meet guys like you young guys, like, trying to get into this, always start them off slow. I always say, let's create a package that will work for you. So let's start off with custom shirts, because that's the easiest point of entry, right? So we start you with custom shirts, and then we start you with, after that, the suits, or blazer, or, some slacks. And then if we put you on a yearly plan, which is what I like to do, I tell my clients, I can get you into 6 new suits, 12 new shirts, and probably 3 pairs of new shoes in 1 year. That's probably something you wouldn't think you could do, but you could if you're working with me, because I'll teach you how to do all of that and have a fantastic wardrobe on top of that.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like I will say, I'm probably the old dog on here. So, I don't.
You ain't by yourself, E.
What you 26, 27, old dog?
Yeah, I'm 38. See, that's where it gets you.
I'm 39, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, see,
Okay.
know a little something about it, and not at that level. Because let me tell you, being the son of a PK, you got to know what the dress code is, right? So
Exactly.
Pops is always at the spot getting the custom stuff done. So I picked up the game from him. Now he does. He's older, right? So he gets away with a lot of the stuff that I'd be like, I'm not there yet. He always laughs at me, right? Like I just got hip to the ostrich, right? Like
Okay.
I'm ostrich shoes, and I'm like, I see it. You know what I mean? The understanding the value of that shoe, how far it goes. How hard is it for you? The question is like you said, that transition from that younger generation. That's the workplace has changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really so much the full suit, tie. It's more of a casual, but you still want to have that flair. Can you talk about how you kind of create that package for that younger generation? Younger than me and Superfly on here, for CB and Clothiers like that.
Got you. So I'll put it to you like this, and let me ask you guys this question. I know we're going to talk about sneakers at some point in this conversation. So I've always told my clients, especially my younger ones, and this right here kills me, right? I can't do it. I could never do this. I've seen young guys drop $1,500 on a pair of Jordans and walk away like ain't nothing happened. And so what I try to do is to get you to shift your mindset, right? To say that $1,500 that you drop on those Jordans, let's put $1,500 into your wardrobe that's going to take you a little bit further along in life.
Right.
You're going to be okay with these young girls for a minute with these $1,500 Jordans on, but I want to do something that's going to help you along in life, that's going to progress you, right? That's going to take you to where you want to go. Now, I understand if you get a pair of $1,500 Jordans and you never wear them. I'm talking about guys who put them on their feet every day. They getting holes in them. They scratching them up. You ain't getting $1,500 when you sell them. You might get $15. You ain't get $1,500. And so what I try to tell my younger clients is it's a mind shift. So what I like to do is to help you look the part, right? I want to help you so that if you happen to show up at an interview that you don't have on a pair of JCPenney's or H&M or Banana Republic suit, when you can have on something that's really worthy of your talent, and all these other different things. As an IT guy, I used to have to hire people. And of course, I'm always looking to gain contracts as well. And can I tell you that for the most part, almost every single contract I ever won is started with how I looked. So when I showed up, people saw how I looked. They was like, oh, this guy means business. He must know something. Look at how he's dressed. Now, all of those are assumptions. But guess what? That worked in my favor. And so I've always understood the value of how I looked, because people, especially if you are a brown or black person, it makes a huge difference. I would like to say that it doesn't, that it shouldn't, but the reality is it does. So when you show up somewhere and you have on a 3-piece suit versus, having on a pair of jeans with holes in them and something else, there's somebody thinking of you as a thug as opposed to you as an entrepreneur or CEO. And so to answer your question, I'll try to teach my clients to just move your money. It's a mind shift. So instead of us spending $1,500 on these Jordans, let's get us a suit that might cost us $1,500, but that $1,500 turns into $200,000 contract. You know what I mean? Even if you have to dress down, it's still ways to do that as well. A lot of times now, guys aren't wearing ties, but they'll wear their shirts, you know, buttoned up to the collar, very nice blazer, nice pocket square, still a pair of slacks, and even a pair of casual shoes down, not necessarily a pair of what you guys would call hard bottoms or what I would call leather sole shoes. Not necessarily wearing those, but something a little less, you know, a little less formal. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, I mean, those are just three of the outfits that I mean, you know, these are all custom. Everything you see in that picture, all those pieces are custom. Everything you see there.
So with that, and that I kind of know a little bit more probably than a couple of these, you know, these other young cats on here. I noticed that with Pops, we noticed the double breast was coming back. You know,
yeah.
Very slim, kind of the athletic kind of fit, but with the double breast. Do you kind of do you steer towards the trend, or do you just kind of put them in what you feel like their body style is for? Because, you know, not everybody can rock a double breast because it's gonna look funny on you. You know what I mean? And I think also with that, I noticed like when I was in college, right? I went, you know, Morgan State stand up, School of Business.
HBCU, I got you. Yeah, I went to Eastern Shore. I'm with you. Okay.
School of Business, we got to that level where you had to present, and I noticed the difference. And kind of like you said, was looking at if you were my competition, was understanding that the guy that didn't have his suit tailored, that got it from, you know, Men's Warehouse, compared to me, who, you know, put a little bit more into it to you know, feel you know, you kind of do that Dion, feel good, you look, play good, you know, you earn good, you dig? What is it with that style though, of what the trend is compared to maybe what you put your niche on, you know, your style and what people are coming in for?
That's a great question. And Dion was absolutely right. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. That's all true. One of the things we do here, we are always classic over trendy. I don't believe in trendy. Trendy is in today and out tomorrow. Everything that you saw that I had on in those pictures, if you notice, I could pass those down as heirlooms to one of you guys. And my goal is to always be able to do that, right? To design, because I'm a designer as well. So when I'm a designer, I'm an image consultant and a stylist on top of doing all these other things. And so always in my mind, I always want to be relevant. So if I took any of those different parts of those clothing or that wardrobe or that setup, I could wear that in 10 years from now. I could wear it 20 years from now. I could wear it 30 years from now. And I could also pass it down to someone. One of the things that I have done, though, is we never do skinny jeans. Now, I know you guys wear skinny jeans and all the rest of that kind of stuff, but I'm not a skinny jeans dude.
Nope.
And so I tell my clients, when you get to a certain age, man, you can't be wearing skinny jeans. Like, it's not cool as a father. You 50 years old, you out here trying to wear skinny jeans like your son. That probably is not going to work for most of them. And so we never go with skinny, but we go what's called fitted, right? The difference between skinny and fitted is I look at your body type and I put you in clothes that fit your body type. So, for example, everything I had on, it fit my body type. It wasn't skinny, it just fit my body. So if you would notice a prime example, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey used to wear his clothes extremely big. And so we couldn't tell if it was a skinny dude in these clothes, a big dude in these clothes. We had no idea because they just like a tent on them. So somebody came along, a great stylist, and said, hey, let's cut your clothes down to fit your body. And so when you come in and see me, I put you in clothes where everything you're wearing flatters your body, every single thing. So if you had a stomach, nobody would really know because we will put you in something that will flatter you. It will look good from head to toe. That's what you do something called fitted. Now you're a PK. I'm actually a preacher myself. So I'm not calling him out, but I'm gonna use him as a reference point. TD Jakes. Okay. TD Jakes, one of the best preachers you ever gonna hear on this planet. In my opinion, one of the worst dressers on the planet. His clothes don't fit him well. Somebody has not told him, or somebody has lied to him and said, hey, you look good. The proof is in the pudding. One of the things that I do whenever I get dressed, and this is for you guys too, and this will help you. Take video yourself, just a 30-second video. Put your clothes on, walk to a camera, walk to the left, walk to the right, and come back. You can see exactly how you look. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a lot of truth to that, because you will see, man, I probably shouldn't have worn this like that. I should have probably did this. I should have changed this. I should have changed that. Pictures don't lie, and video really don't lie. And so when you have a client do that, because sometimes it's easier to show a client themselves instead of you just saying this doesn't look good. You just say, hey, come here, let me show you something. Come just walk towards them, I'm gonna videotape you, I'm gonna take some pictures, and then you just let them see the obvious. And then it kind of almost unfolds, and you say, well, if we're working together, here's some things I would change. Let me show you why. Let me put you in this, let me put you in that, and let me put you in something that's gonna flatter you. And you show them the before and after pictures. Can I tell you something? I don't even believe in selling anymore. To me, if you have to sell something, you're almost fraudulent. I just show people what I can do and put them in their best, their best light. And I'm gonna tell you, when people see themselves in YouTube, you guys know this. When you see yourself looking good, you're like, okay, how much more do I need to spend? What else do I need to do? And it becomes a thing of like, I never ever want to look like I used to look again. I always want to look better. And that's what we try to do. Exactly. You always want to level up. You never want to go back. And let me tell you, some of you guys, I don't know if you're trying to impress women, if you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get a contract, but the easiest and the fastest way to do it is to improve your image. I promise you, in any of those things. If you want a specific type of woman, there's a specific thing that you're going to probably need to do. If you want a specific job, you want a specific contract, there's specific things that you're going to need to do. Image really is everything. There are some singers out here right now that can sing like you wouldn't believe, but they don't look like Beyonce. Is Beyonce the greatest singer? Probably not the greatest singer, but she looks like one of the greatest singers. And she can command, based on how she looks, whatever it is she pretty much wants.
Yeah. You're muted.
What's the typical turnaround for a suit?
4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks.
A lot of measurements going on with the suit.
A lot of measurements. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about custom. I have clients that come to me all the time, and they're like, man, I can't go to the store and find anything that fits me. My shoulders is too big, my waist is too big, my legs are too skinny. And we're like, I can fix every last bit of that with custom. All of that goes away. There are no issues. I love it when people come and say, I'm a 60 plus, and let's get to work.
Right.
We never have an issue with that. Not ever. It's not ever a problem. Budget normally is a problem. Your budget just has to know.
What should every grown man have in his wardrobe?
That's a great question. There are 3 things. You should at least own 1 suit. You should own at least 5 shirts and probably 3 ties and maybe 3 pairs of shoes. So you should own at least probably either a black, a gray, or a blue suit. If not all 3, you should own at least 3 white shirts and 2 blue shirts. You should own at least 1 pair of black shoes and 1 pair of brown shoes. You should own at least probably 6 or 7 ties to go with all those kinds of things. And for me personally, you should also own pocket squares or pocket rounds to complete the look.
Let's talk a little bit about hats, because we've been on the suits, and I see you got a nice hat on right now, and I caught you live on IG before the show, and you were marketing some hats you have. Was hats the first thing you got into? Was that your bigger item?
That's a great question, Khalil. That wasn't the first thing. I actually started with bow ties. I used to love bow ties. I wore bow ties every single day. Not the clip-ons, by the way. We call it the self-tie, meaning you have to tie it yourself. By the way, if you don't know how to tie, I'll teach you how to tie it. But I got a feeling some of you guys probably do know how to tie it. But and I'm gonna tell you an interesting story, just real quick. Your dad, Khalil, was one of my first clients. I used to sell bow ties. This is probably like in the early 90s. and your dad was wearing bow ties, and or you may not have been born yet. Or probably what, 3, 4 years old, baby.
I wish. I wish. I'm right behind Eve.
Right behind. Okay, all right. So I got into the clothing game, selling clothes through bow ties. I realized early on, and this was for all the entrepreneurs out there, when you are good at something, people will let you know. So take note of that thing, and whatever that thing is, that's what you should be doing with your life. And so I didn't realize early on that being able to dress well was a gift. And I just thought it was just something fun to do. It was something I could do, but I didn't realize I did it a lot better than a whole lot of other people, and that I could make money actually doing it, and make good money doing it. And so I started with bow ties. People would ask me, where did you get bow ties? Where did you get your bow ties? And, you know, a lot of times I would tell them I would get them from this place and get them from this place, but some I would have made. And so you couldn't just go out and readily get them. So I thought, you know what, why don't I just start selling bow ties? Why work with this person to keep giving them money when I could do it myself? And so I got into bow ties. And then I remember thinking, man, I did really good with bow ties. Why don't I just add ties to this collection? So over a 2-year period, I sold ties and bow ties. And I thought, you know what, I love custom shirts. Why don't I start selling custom shirts? So I started selling custom shirts, custom ties, custom bow ties. I'm like, you know what goes better with all this than a custom suit? So I said, well, you know what, I might as well just get into custom suits as well. By the time I got to year 5, year 6, I looked up, I'm selling ties, bow ties, pocket squares, socks, shoes. I'm selling all of these different things. I'm just doing it out of my house. And so that's how I got in. I started with bow ties literally, and worked up to where I'm at right now, where I don't care what it is that you have custom, suit, shirt, ties. We make custom jeans. If it's for a man, I do every single thing. I don't want it to ever get to a place or a point where if you as a man don't have something, we can't do it. So I make everything. I don't care what it is. And if I don't make it, I actually collaborate with people who do, and I brand it as my own. So as an entrepreneur, let me just say this too. Wherever you have branding opportunities, take advantage of it. I told my wife, I said, the next year, when you come to my place, I don't want anything in here that has someone else's name on it. Even if I have to remove the label myself and put my own label in it, because it does me no good to brand for somebody else. And so I now make sure that everything I sell, I brand it as my own. I don't, as much as I can anyway. But you guys need to think about that as young entrepreneurs. Wherever you can brand it yourself. And so I started doing that. And to wrap this answer up, I just recently learned something else about myself. I'm my greatest ambassador, right? So I wear all of my own stuff. It's rare that you will see me wearing too much of any of somebody else's stuff. When you see me, it's primarily in stuff that I made, that I designed, that I'm wearing. Even to the point where when you saw Khalil, you had those pictures up, people say, well, why don't you get models? Who's going to model my clothes better than me? No, right. Not a single person. And so I'm learning, okay, now I need to start reaching out to creatives who are in photography and all these, like your dad, who do those things better than me, but they can take my image and give me what I want and put it out there. And so I've literally started branding myself, literally my image, my likeness, my clothes, every single thing, because this is how I built my business. I didn't build my business on some other guy coming in here modeling my stuff. I've done it from the ground up, and I've learned, okay, Mike, we can do something with this. And so I say this to all of you: become your own brand ambassador, because no one is going to represent your product or your business better than you. Not a single person.
What's your hottest selling item right now?
Hats in all different flavors. This particular one that I have on now, it's one of the hottest hats that we have. This particular style, it's a fedora. It's a 4.5-inch crown, 2.5-inch brim. And what I've noticed is, Khalil, colors are getting to be huge now. So where a lot of men and women wouldn't wear or venture out into wearing these colors like a pink or red or orange, man, people are loving these different colors of the spectrum. And so this particular hat, this particular style is our bestseller. It's $75, which is a great entry point for hats. You know, especially if you're trying to just start and you get into the hat game. Very, very easy to wear. You can wear it every single day. This particular color, it'll match everything in your wardrobe. I don't care what color you're wearing. It just matches really well. And it's a cool look. My personal, because I like dressing down as well, I love the hipster look. That's pretty much me outside of dressing up. You'll find me looking like a hipster. I really have embraced that whole way of living and lifestyle.
You gonna have a curly mustache? You're not gonna go that far.
I probably won't have a curly mustache, and I have cut my beard down. By the way, my beard was pretty long. Your beard is great, by the way, CB.
Salute to CB.
Yeah, you got a boss beard there, man.
I appreciate that.
I've recently cut it down, but I'm gonna let it grow back. I love having a really full beard, so I'm gonna probably let it grow up a little closer to my eyes, and then let it grow a little longer. But the hipster lifestyle, I love it. I love it. Like your dad. Your dad he got that crazy nice beard. He got the gray going. Let me just say one other thing. I'm gonna plug all the guys out there 50 plus. Y'all win it.
Embrace it.
Don't let these young guys tell you that. Y'all win it.
So you doing custom hats, correct?
Yes.
What's the turnaround for a custom hat?
This right now, because we're close to Christmas, it's probably about 6 weeks out. Just because the demand is so high right now. After we get beyond Christmas, it's like 4 weeks.
Now you have a storefront, correct?
I do have a storefront. We actually refer to it as a studio.
Studio.
The reason why is because it's an upscale boutique, and I would love to have you guys at some point come by. I know you're in what, California, so you can't probably come by at the moment, but when you're in town, please, you're welcome to come by. We've literally taken the time to develop this place so that it's a man cave. It's a luxurious man cave where you can buy clothes. And we're looking to turn it into something more with a social atmosphere, because a lot of my clients who come in, it really is a social thing. We'll talk for probably 3 hours and spend 15 minutes on, them buying clothes. And so that's something else that I'm learning about myself is that, hey, man, you're a pretty sociable guy. So why don't you take that, incorporate it into your business, and turn it into an opportunity? And so in 2021, we're looking to even expand upon doing some things a little bit more social, coupled with the clothes, because a lot of guys, man, who love clothes, they love the social part too. So it just makes sense to couple the two.
Yeah, definitely. So what is the process? Because I'm super interested in coming in and really, kind of elevating my look as well. So like what is the process? You put down a deposit, and then, or do you like continually pay over the year depending on like whatever your plan is? I'm like one of those dudes that's like, I find out I have an event, then I go try to find an outfit, as opposed to having stuff on deck already.
So let me just say this, Superfly, you are not unlike any other man that I know. And that's what I try to break them out of the habit of, because you're always in a predicament when that happens.
Yes.
You're running around trying to find something that fits you well, that looks good, that matches, and you got to spend the time doing it, right?
Right.
And so I have 9 out of 10 of my clients are that way. So what I try to do is to train them to not think like that. So to your point, the process works like this. We do, like a 10, 15-minute consultation so that I, understand, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to, put an outfit together so that you have this event coming up? A wedding is coming up? Are you going on a job interview? What is it? Why are you looking for whatever it is you're looking for? And because we want to outfit you appropriately, right? Is it work related? Do we need to build a wardrobe so that when you have something in your wardrobe so that you have something every day to go to work in? What is it? Once we understand what the reasoning is for your visit, then we put together a plan as to, well, how much can you spend, right? And then I'll take that and I'll look to say, okay, we need what for when? So do you need this for this quarter? Do you need it for this month? Do you need it for this year? And then we begin to plan. So let's just say, take for instance, we know that spring and summer is going to come up, right? So you know you may have a lot of gigs in the spring and summer versus right now.
Right.
So I would say to you, hey, Superfly, let's build for the spring and summer. So why don't we start looking at things right now so that by the time spring and summer arrive, they're sitting in your closet. It's not you trying to figure it out. You already know what you're going to have. You know what you're going to wear. And guess what? It's paid for, right?
Yeah, I love that.
And in my case, the reason I think what separates me from my competition, I am an image consultant and a stylist. So when you come see me, any one of you guys come to see me, I can tell you based on how you look, what I think, and how to get you prepared for whatever that event is. So when you come in, you may not always know, I like this color, I don't like this color. I'll pair all of that stuff up for you and present you with options. So you'll have option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. I try not to give you too many options, not more than 4, because for men, usually it's overwhelming. So normally 3 to 4 is good. You pick from the 3 to 4, you can, switch things in and out. And then we put together something for you, and we kind of go from there, and it works in your budget.
Real quick, Superfly, I think that hat that he's wearing, that might be your fit too. That might be you.
That's a lot like D Nice, man. I don't want to be looking like I'm trying to be D Nice.
Hey, look, it don't matter. Look, I got a fedora. I can't wear it right now because I got all this going on. I got to braid it down again.
Guess what, Superfly? We'll have you looking better than D Nice.
There we go. Yeah. I need the outfit to match the name. You know what I'm saying?
We got a question from the audience. Do you dress the ladies?
We do. We do dress ladies. I've just recently started getting into it. I'm learning still a lot about the ladies segment. They're so much different than men. There's so many other different things you got to consider when you're dealing with women, especially as it relates to measurements. Like their measurements are so much different than men. Now, putting outfits together, like a dress, shoes, and all that, purse, man, I could do that with my eyes closed. Customized and making something for women, I haven't gotten as strong as I want to be just yet. I'm getting there. I've had a few women trust me in doing it, and I'm learning as I go along with them. And so it's been a great experiment. I'm getting better. By the end of 2021, I'm gonna be bomb. I'm gonna be crazy good at dealing with women because I'm making it a point. Just to that, I don't know who asked that question, but one of the things I found out was women love hats. Most of my clients are women, and they spend, just so you guys know, women outspend men probably 10 to 1, for real. And so I found myself catering to these women because they're becoming more of my clients, especially as the hats are related, in dealing with them. So what I've learned, if you make hats for them, they're going to ask the question, well, do you sell shoes? Do you sell dresses? And my answer has to be, yes, we do. It just has to be. So I'm growing my business based on the needs of my clients. And they're coming to me because they're already one of my clients. They trust me. So my intent for 2021, to whoever asked that question, I'm pretty good at dressing you. If you're going to an event and you need me to help you go find something or put it all together for you, and at the end of the day, you look like a queen, I got you. If it's something custom, I'm honing my skills. I'm getting better. I haven't gotten to a place where I could, with 1,000,000% confidence say I nailed it, but I'm getting there and I'm getting better every day.
That's awesome.
Okay. When you were live earlier, you mentioned something about hat stretching. Like you can go a size up. Like if we don't have your size, we can stretch it for you. Mm-hmm. What's the process? And first of all, what size hat do you go up to, and what size can you stretch it up to?
Right. Good questions. So hats generally come in sizes small, medium, large, XL, 6 3/8 all the way up to 7 5/8 on up. The stretching process is it's a simple one. It involves stretching a hat sometimes just a little bit too small to make it more comfortable, right? So in anything that you do or you wear, it should be comfortable. It shouldn't be that it's too tight or too big, right? And so I try to always encourage my clients, don't wear a hat that's too small, because literally you could pass out wearing a hat too small because it's just so tight on your head. It can give you massive headaches. I've heard all these from my clients. So we stretch them, and we can stretch them up to one size, right? So if it's a medium, I can stretch a hat. Oh man, thank you, I appreciate that. We can stretch it from a medium to a large, small to a medium, large to XL, you know, so forth and so on, to give you a much better fit, so that when you wear it, you don't just look good, but you also feel good.
Why don't you plug your stuff for us? Plug the studio, where we can find the studio at, your social media.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. As a small business guy, every little bit counts. We're located in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 14412 Old Mill Road, Suite 201 in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Not too far from the courthouse. So if you're familiar with the courthouse, you're right around the corner. You can find us on all the social media platforms. We pretty much operate on Facebook, JL Michaels Custom Clothiers, or under my personal brand, JL Michael L. Johnson JR. On Facebook, on Instagram, we're JL Michaels _ Custom Clothiers. Twitter, we're at JL Michaels. I'm on every single day. I'm posting something every single day, so you can find me in all those places. And if you're old-fashioned, you can call me 240-398-6524 or text me. You'll find that I'm very, very amenable to taking calls and text messages. If you text me and it's related to some form of business, you're going to get a response back from me. Probably, if it's doing normal business hours, probably within 10 minutes. After hours, it'll probably be like an hour or so. We're always in contact with our clients. You know, that whole 9 yards. And I just want to leave you guys with one last piece of information. Man, stay engaged with your clients. Do not get separated from them. I'm not a stalker, but I'm a semi-stalker. I stay in my clients. I go in when clients post, when I ask them to post comments about us, leave us feedback, and I'll go into their comments, and I'm looking at every single comment of every single person every single day, because I know somewhere in there is some hidden business. And I've plucked quite a few clients out of all of those comments. So be vigilant. Go out there and get that money. It's out there for you.
Awesome. As we transition, I gave you some homework.
Yeah.
And it's a question that we ask everybody that comes on the show.
Yeah.
Your top 3 albums and your top 3 movies of all time. We'd like to start with the movies. So go ahead, hit us with your top 3 movies of all time.
Well, my top 3 are Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Y'all too young probably even have heard of that.
Oh, no.
Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
Bueller. Right there. Yeah. And Black Panther. Love Black Panther. And then my last one is Hotel Artemis. Have you guys seen that?
Nah, I gotta check that joint out.
Yeah.
Man,
Sci-fi, right?
Yes. It's somewhat sci-fi. Absolutely great movie. There's some great lines in it, man. I'm telling you, just absolutely great movie.
Okay.
Great movie.
All right, albums.
Again, you guys probably, I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but Jodeci.
Come on, man. Like, yeah, right.
I'm just asking. And right on it, because I'm a 90s dude, man. I'm straight out of the 90s. Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. Absolutely, man. Oh.
Never trust a big button smile, right?
Hey, you got your mind if you do. And then one of my favorite artists, this guy, Chris Bodie. Have you guys ever heard of Chris Bodie?
Not me.
All right.
Yeah. Chris Bodie is a jazz musician. He plays trumpet. Okay. Oh, absolutely incredible guy. My favorite album by him is Night Sessions. Really beautiful album, man. Really beautiful album.
Dope.
Check him out.
Yeah, definitely got to check that out.
Yeah. So that's why we ask these questions, because we're going to get different answers almost 95% of the time. I think one night we had a couple guests we had the same movie in their list, but that kind of really happens. But yeah, we appreciate you for that. And at this point, this is where we're going to kind of go downhill from here.
He coming for you, E.
I don't know how that sounds.
You would have thought Bob's getting on me already.
Right.
Oh man. All right. So as you can see, you know, Mike, like I said, appreciate you coming on. This is I wouldn't necessarily say go down right here, but this segment gets people's feathers ruffled a little bit, you know, with what I have to say. And it's just my opinion, as you can see, it says it's just E. But you know, this week we're gonna go with, you know, a certain individual, Will Smith being an actor, you know, or should I say rapper turned actor. And is it just me? And it probably is, because I know everybody's gonna get on me, and I know what movie y'all gonna bring up. But Pursuit of Happiness is Will Smith's best body of work.
Independence Day wasn't the best one?
Nah, definitely not.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 3.
Over Pursuit of Happiness, a real movie that now Superfly, you hit me last week with the whole, you know, you understand the movie, you got dope on me last week, and now you gonna hit me with this. Movie,
I got my leg lamp up here because of you last week. That's why I got this.
Don't tell Mike about that one. He don't need to know about
All
that.
right, so all right, true confession. I've never seen Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay. It's a great movie.
I heard it was great. You know,
It's a great
I ain't
movie.
never watched that, Joe, man.
It's a tearjerker. It's a tearjerker.
Listen, Superfly, you have to watch it, and then you gonna have a different
All right.
movie.
All
Or,
right.
or I say his body. I'm not saying that at the end of the day that the, you know, Independence Day was good, Bad Boys was good, but I'm talking about to embody that, I guess, if you will, in that perspective of male.
How about Ali?
Care of it.
How about Ali? What about Ali? That was, now, if you want to talk about him really, really getting into character, like really just embodying Muhammad Ali, that was amazing.
No, and I agree with and here's the thing, Mike. I'm not saying that these movies, the other movies aren't great. I'm just saying, to me, as a character that he had to really put together, right? Ali's a real person, but not a lot of us aren't going to embody Ali. What I'm saying, this guy that he portrayed in this movie was a dude that was really just trying to figure it out with what he had. And like you said, the hustle hard. It was all about him. He had to make it about himself. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, tearjerker, when you know that he's running to try to get in the bathroom in the subway so that's where they can stay, like, you had to, you know, again, not all
I got you.
One of them moments.
It was, as a matter of fact, that you say that possibly could be, because I think about the moment when he gave up the $5, and that was really all he had, and then the guy at the end gives him the money back. That was, that
now,
was.
Okay. To me, Will Smith has had a lot of good bodies of work. So this was probably the movie I thought he should have been nominated for Oscar for. I think Ali was a makeup, because I think he may have got nominated for Ali, and I think that was a makeup Oscar. Ali was okay, but it's hard when you get an actor like Will Smith, who's a big persona, bigger than life, kind of jumping into a role of doing a biopic, and you have to believe that he's Ali. And he did a good job. It's different than Jamie Foxx playing Ray, because Jamie Foxx and Ray hand in hand.
Yes, hands down. Yeah,
he sang and he played all the music, right?
Yeah, I think Ray was just a better movie, just a better written movie.
It was.
So 7 Pounds was actually a really good movie too. That was actually a tearjerker. Pursuit of Happiness is good, but Will Smith's best body work, I mean, it did show range. It's tough, because Enemy of the State was probably was a great movie too.
You just got to put up Roya's comment again, because I don't know if he's ever going to see that ever again. So you got to let that stay up there, just like
concussion.
A little bit longer.
Concussion.
Please believe we're screenshotting that and we're putting that
on.
Oh
no, she said she agreed with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done. You won. Cash out.
Nah, look, Pursuit of Happiness was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
That was his best role.
That wasn't no movie. That was
his best role.
Hey, tell Pop that he ain't out yet.
Reality TV out here.
Yeah. Entanglement. man, I honestly, that was his best role right there because he tried to pretend or make us think that he really wasn't upset.
Exactly.
He tried
Like
he tried to make us think that, you know, all that just didn't matter.
he tried to act like he was elevated, right?
Yeah.
He went into that moment where you know, on Fresh Prince when he was asking why he don't want me no more. He had that. He went that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it was that moment when she finally said, "Yeah, well, yeah, we did," and he was like, "What? You did what? What did you do?" It was entanglement.
Right. Now look, he's. I would love to hear him come clean about some of his. I'm sure I done heard it. There's been a bunch of stories out there. I would love to, you know, for him to get to confessing at that red table talk. But
it ain't never gonna touch what Jada did.
No. Did y'all see where he recently? Did y'all see where he recently reconciled with Aunt Viv? Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
That was
man. That may have been his best role. That dude really did seem like he was regretful and remorseful about what he destroyed that lady's life, man.
Yeah.
He destroyed it.
We got this is okay. And now real quick. I didn't introduce it properly. This is where we talk about shoes. This is the shoe portion, and you know, just in case. All right. So again, this is where we talk shoes, and we got we do this thing called Copper Drop, and this is where we spotlight a shoe. This week's Copper Drop, and we go around and we talk about if this is a shoe, if we had the opportunity to pick it up, if we would cop it or drop it. CB, go for it.
So, as many of our listeners know, 2020 has been the year of the dunk. The dunks are back. And this is a special holiday release, a collaboration with one of the, I guess, most renowned around, Mr. Clabber out there. And so it got really cool details on the shoe. Shoe kind of has like a wintry kind of snow look to it, and on one of the insoles you have some of his artwork, so it's pretty dope. I will be trying to cop, but I have to imagine that these are going to be pretty tough to get.
What's the price point?
So I mean, for the regular dunks, it's like 110.
Gotcha. So
now that's one of the great things about dunks is they're not incredibly expensive when you can get them for the actual retail price. So,
which nobody's been able to do on the team. Right.
I'll go first. It's a drop for me. The colorway, not a big fan of the colorway. I got to see him in person. He probably look better in person. But it's a drop.
I like the artwork on the instep in there, but yeah, it's not. I'm not a big fan of the shoe overall, but I like the artwork on it.
It's actually a cop for me. I think that the subtle colorway is pretty dope for the if you will the Cali weather out right now, where you can get away with wearing that.
Mike, what you think?
Hell no. $110 for them sneakers? No. I just got finished telling y'all, invest in your clothing. Take money and get you a custom shirt. Hell no. 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 Drop. That's what I meant. Drop.
Love it.
All right. So for the soul, who's up first?
I can lead it off. I'm in the big box.
Big box.
Big box. All right.
It's the year of the dunk, right?
Faith Fair. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, year to done. SBs.
So no, I didn't get these for retail, but the resale price that I paid was not astronomical. Nothing that would keep me out of Mike's shop. You know what I mean? But I got the
well done.
Yeah.
The details on these joints are crazy. See it, Duck High Pro instead of Dunk High Pro. Because it's basically like a mallard duck. So you got some of the iridescent colors that play on the reflectiveness of their wings and everything. I swapped the laces out for the yellow laces that they came with. Got some cool artwork, you know, ducks and stuff on the inside. So this was one of the shoes that I felt like I needed to get this year. So I was happy that I was able to get them for a price that I thought was reasonable.
All right.
Nice.
Real quick, and I'll wrap up, Joe. Make sure we add Sneaker of the Year to that list when we do top 5 albums. We got to add Sneaker of the Year.
Good call.
For sure.
I'll go next. Since we. All right. This week I got something a little different. Figured I dress it up a little bit. Got a little weird brown box. But what's on the inside?
Oh, dang.
Straight Morris Day joints.
Here we go. We're doing something different this week. So
Okay.
Jerome.
not all just 10 sneakers in the collection. So
Come on now.
BC person.
Now I got a question for you. Where are you wearing those two?
I wore these to my company holiday party last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do get worn.
Now,
People saw Phil's shoes before they saw Phil. It was crazy.
You better see them joints before.
Good look. Good look.
All right. So mine's a sort of a theme, if you will. This day, Kobe played against Jordan for the first time back in '97, and so I'm repping my my Lakers, LA, everything Kobe. So we're gonna keep it everything Kobe. Now I think I did this one on Zoom, and of course, thanks to Zoom, they karate chopped everything that we done. So I'm gonna bring it back out. Bam. These clean. These are the lifestyles that they came out with for the Kobe's.
Yep.
Again, got that. If you can see it, it's got that nice little snake imprint that that he's known for. And again, this is kind of like my good juju for the Grinches that drop in the next week. So
right.
I'm trying to get it how I live it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
There it is.
No. Superfly, you come to play?
Not tonight.
Okay.
For Superfly though, I did have to say I've been wearing these slides Superfly.
Hey, you already know. Slide gang.
These joints are the boost slides are the truth.
All right, Mike, what you got for us? I know you got something a little different.
Listen, I wish I'd have known we was talking sneakers. I got some not custom made, but some Italian ones. They're really nice. I didn't bring them. I wish I'd have known. Suede joints.
Right. What you got though? You brought something though.
Let me see here. I got
you got some hats, right?
No.
Slide gang. You already know what it is.
I thought you was gonna show some hats. Show your hats.
Oh, okay. Well,
I knew I rock with him for a reason, man.
Hold on, let me go grab one. I'll bring it back real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Why you grab a hat? Brandon, be easy. If you're still in the comment section, give me the name of your company so I can plug you in the show for being up next week Tuesday. So while we wait for Mike, real quick, while everybody's watching, since next week is Christmas, we'll be coming to you Tuesday night for our holiday show. Mike's back. Go ahead. What you got for us?
So this is one of our hats right here. And it sold really, 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 really well for us. This hat normally retails for about $175, depending on what we do to it. It could be just a tad bit more expensive, probably like around $250, about $250, $255. And I call this one Goldilocks. I love this hat. It's so hats, depending on how you wear your hat, it brings so much personality to the room. I always tell my clients, I'm like, when you pick a hat, get something that fits your personality. And depending on what you're trying to do and where you're at, you know, if you're trying to go somewhere and you want to stand out in the room, a hat like this will definitely put you in that, you know, put you above the rest. But you got to be confident in when you wear these hats as well, because, you know, a hat like this could get you in trouble. You might not know what you're doing with it, and you know, it cause some problems. But yeah, man, this is one of ours right here. I love this hat. I have a few other ones. I have some pink ones, some red ones. Just this year have really, 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 you know, kind of even for myself, stepped outside of the lines a little bit and done some things a little bit differently, and it's helped too, with the marketing and, you know, people buying. So yeah, this is one of our pieces right here.
That hat is fire.
Yeah,
Nice,
man.
Nice.
Yeah, come on through, man, so we can take care of y'all, so y'all can step your game up.
Bet.
Joe.
Who said that? Was that your dad?
No, that wasn't my.
Oh, who? I owe it again. No,
Man.
Who said that?
Pause.
That's my friend John. He's a regular in the comments.
There's about to be some crime going on in the chat room.
It's about to be, yeah, he may have started some black on black crime in there.
Yeah. You better ease up off the Myotas, man. Ease up.
All right, y'all.
Shout out to the Myotas.
We appreciate you, Mike, for joining us. Let me put you back.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. It was fun. I had a great time with you guys, man.
Yeah. This is how Black business is. This is why we do the spotlight companies we may not know about, may not hear about all the time. Plug your stuff one more time for everybody's watching, so we know where to find you. How we get this consultation going, how we can get fly.
Absolutely. So this again is Mike Johnson. Actually, by the way, I want to just shout out my wife, Stephanie Johnson. She is 50% of this company. I always let people know that. I didn't do this by myself. And then my daughter, who works with me, Sydney Johnson, she is a huge, huge help to me. In fact, he is. We're getting ready. You asked me this earlier. We're believing that in 2021, the hat business is going to spin off. My daughter is going to pick it up. It's called Crown Candy. She's going to pick it up. She's going to run with that, and I'm going to take care of the other stuff. So we're looking to do that. But we're located again in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 14412 Old Mill Road, Suite 201. Please come out and see us. We're on social media at Instagram, JL_Michaels Custom Clothiers, Facebook, JL Michaels Custom Clothiers, and also Michael L. Johnson Jr. Twitter, we're at JL Michaels. If you're old school still, again, you can call me 240-398-6524 or text me, inbox me, message me, DM me, get at me, whatever you do.
Right. Simplify, you got something real quick? Awesome, man. Yo, again, thank you. We are something else. You can find us on all platforms. Google us, we're there. Instagram, Facebook. We're trying to push this YouTube. So if you're new to watching us tonight, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch all the other Black Series videos that we've been doing, Black Business Series. Up next Tuesday, again 9:30 this Tuesday. I'll send everything up. We're gonna have Hands for You Assembly. With my man Brandon, he's gonna be on, and he's got a real special business that he's doing, and I think a lot of people will be interested in that. But again, Mike, thank you for joining us. We definitely got to do this again. Got to catch up because that hat, I love that hat. And what you were on your IG live, a lot of those hats that you were showing, dope. So
thank you. Okay, can I just do this real quick? Thank you so much for saying that. We do something called Fly Friday every single Friday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. We sell our hats. So this is one of the things I was telling you about. We go direct to the customers for about 2 hours. That's what we do. So join us for Fly Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page, Michael L. Johnson Jr. We're going to preview probably 60-some hats. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to outfit you with some great hats.
Let's get it.
Bet. I'm gonna come see you. There's gonna be some cross branding opportunities going on, man. We gotta connect.
always looking to cross brand. Always.
Let's
I'm
do it.
always looking to do that. Yeah. So have a
Let's do it.
partner, wherever we can find some synergies, let's absolutely do it.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Mike, stay in the room while we in the show. But again, we are something else. We back Tuesday night for our holiday special. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.